We're going live as of back with you guys, right into the conversation. Back with you. Go ahead, Queen. Say what you were saying.
It's the consciousness of the people. That is what it is at stake. So that's at stake. It's the consciousness of the people. Think about that.
What do you mean? Elaborate. Quick.
Elaborating between one artist versus another artist. One artist is friggin' trash. Uses everything and bites off of everything. And then another artist who is naturally using organic sound talent, etc., to imply different strategies of drawing people into his consciousness. Come on now. If you're actually looking at the effect of his success after he passed away, this would give you a trajectory of how big he would be regardless of if he were alive or dead.
Absolutely.
Think about that.
True.
Yeah. Where'd you find her, yo? She's
That's the queen right there. All hail the fiend, you know.
I've heard you many times, and I'm like, yo, she knows. Did we get kicked off again?
No, we're good.
Okay, well, my screen just went black. I'm like, look, maybe.
Oh, get your screen together. We're good. Y'all know YouTube playing. YouTube, stop playing with me. Give me my hour. After an hour, please do what you're doing. Give me an hour. Okay, next person. Chris A. Who do you think could have allegedly have been in a position to put a hit on X?
Oh man, that's a good question. Can we start off with everybody just hashtagging YouTube stop playing?
Yeah.
Hashtag YouTube stop playing.
You stop playing with me, bro.
All right,
Fuck.
Let's go.
I'll get to it. I think mine is a little bit more internal. There's some proofs out there, but allegedly, I believe something's definitely up with Mr. Runaway. We all seen the clip. I don't believe that his sister is putting his pain out there for nothing. The proof is in the pudding. She got served. You're right. I believe it's more internal. I can't put a finger on it, but that circle is very small, and it's obviously in those four walls where he lives. So it's definitely internal. And again, this is just allegedly stating if somebody put the hit out on him. I still wouldn't be or see it so far fetched to think that Mr. put a hit out on himself. So it's all alleged, and this is the spin that we're in.
To be honest,
Can we talk?
I don't.
Go ahead. Can we talk more about that? I like Chris's point. You said like it's more. You think it's more internal because a lot of people have crossed that theory, saying that
Allegedly,
yeah, saying that maybe he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like because of all the things they said that he was. They said if he was alive today, like when he was gonna go into to the judge, like they were gonna charge him. They said he was gonna do some time. He would have been doing what 6 9 is. Basically. A lot of people.
interesting.
Interesting concept, you would say.
Yeah. But I mean, are they still even running trial? Like, what's going on? Because honestly, the only updates I get is from TheCzarr. I don't know. No one's talking about it. No one's talking about it.
TheCzarr's the GOAT, guys. You know that.
It's gonna start back up the 28th, and I'm gonna have a chance to talk to get some word or some type of insight from Jocelyn's detective. And listen, I'm gonna say this publicly: if that case closed and something's funny, it's gonna be open. Trust me. If that case was closed on something funny, it's getting open. Don't think I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you.
Can I talk about that case also?
Yes, yes. Oh, one more. Wait, we gotta finish. Queen Prodigy. If there was a hit allegedly, who do you think would have done the alleged setting up of X?
Floor is yours.
For one, it's about how can I say it? See, this is the power of the mind is just the limitation to what we are actually experiencing in order to attain our own personal biological freedom, to which we would have the choice in being able to see that when you are piercing the mindset of so many different people who are attempting to figure out how to liberate themselves from this system or do their best to acclimate into another system, that's not necessarily something that's easily given to them. So when you have someone who has had plenty of trials and tribulations, being arrested, you know, having a certain background from living in the streets to living the life of luxury, but still taking into the accountability of his own humble beginnings and realizing that he was still humble, that he had no desire for those things anymore. Like, could you imagine getting to that point to where you've attracted all of these things, right? And then you realize that there's no difference between what you are actually experiencing behind the cell versus having a multi-million-dollar cell with all your multi-million-dollar toys in it.
So in other words, you're saying he was trapped.
So that's all I'm saying. How does a man get off house arrest and pass within 48 hours?
That's craziness, to be honest. Yeah, he was on house arrest on 2018. It even says that on iTunes. And if you scroll down on where it says up on a question mark, I believe.
Wait, what did you went in and out? You're gonna say that again?
I said it even went on Apple Music on his album question mark. And it said that he was on house arrest. Down below in the bio and everything. Everything was listed.
Oh, so he still was on house arrest.
Right.
Oh, wow.
In 2018 he was. Then he got off of it.
Right.
Okay. I personally, I'm sorry guys, I just wanted to put that out there. I will not yet answer the question. And for the public, I have communication behind the scenes that I'm finding something very disturbing that I have not been able to get a confirmation on, that has to do with, let's say, certain things that went down before X's situation. It's in multiple ways too. It's not just having to do, let's say, if it was alleged that it had to do with a kid, or alleged it had to do with, let's say, a person acting a certain way, behaving a certain way. I have communication, and I've been asked not to give identities. I've been sent pictures, but I have not been sent anything else. But one of the things before we get to the Jocelyn situation I wanted to mention was this. Geneva, has anyone seen the types of posts on Geneva's, let's say, Twitter?
I have.
And what are your thoughts on that?
A little bit disturbing, to be honest, because she uses blood on her Twitter sometimes.
Well, it's not just because of that. What the stuff she says, it's very interesting and very odd. Because if I look at it from a standpoint, if someone lived with you and you were taking those type of drugs, you would be crazy.
True.
You would be crazy because you're clinically insane if you do it more than 7 times. Does she know that? You're clinically insane.
She does.
That means a doctor will look you in your eyes and tell you you need to go to a psych ward if you're doing that drug normally. And you told people to stay out your business, but you're putting it out there on Twitter. So how do I stay out your business if on Twitter you're like, let me turn this anime on and pop this in my mouth? Really? You're a sick individual. And when I look back on what X was saying, what he's saying and seeing what's being said publicly, but out your mouth makes sense. I'm like, okay, we don't have any reference for this because in 2016, after he stepped out the precinct, you ran to the city he was in. You didn't. If all of this was going on before, you still ran up under his butt after he gets out. So what am I supposed to think about you? But then I see you today when he's not around doing whatever you claim he's doing. Then you're doing that behavior, then talking about you're coming out with a book. For what? Thought talk?
For what reason?
Is this thought talk? What are you going to talk about? You're going to just make up a lot of different things as you never stood firm on even saying he was the one that beat you when you were making the claim in the precinct. You were. What's going on? What's going on?
Loco dinero.
I agree.
Loco dinero.
Really?
Loco dinero. Probably. I don't know.
Listen,
Loco dinero.
I called her out a minute ago and I mentioned, was this...
She was never in.
You on to something, right?
You are.
I'm looking at the tweets now. I've never seen them before, but I'm looking at them now.
Yeah,
like,
they're crazy. I was like, he's everything this girl said. Then I seen a video of him holding you down while you were kicking and screaming like you were 7 years old.
yeah, they were saying she was it was an exorcism. Like, no, she was on drugs.
She was on drugs.
Allegedly. She was allegedly intoxicated.
Allegedly on drugs. Right.
But I do know she takes them because you verbatim said you took them in February. You ain't take nothing. You ain't take nothing and watch Soul Eater. You
I'm
didn't.
looking right now. Acid.
You popped the pill and watched Soul Eater.
Yep.
And I believe you're clinically sane when 7 times means you're clinically insane. That was the first time you did it. You know what? I find that type of behavior funny because that just adds up to some other things for us to look on the backside that I really didn't have no proof.
I got a question
Funny.
for you, Czar.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Is she with the funds that she's gonna make off this crack book? She gonna refund everybody that funded her on that GoFundMe?
Here's the thing. When someone did that and handed her the money, believing it, she was legally able to accept it. Whether she paid taxes on it, whatever, I don't know. I know it was tens and tens and tens of thousands. I don't know. But I will say this. This is the question. Did the surgery ever happen? That's the question.
I don't know.
Right.
Did this surgery ever happen? I asked this a while ago. I said, if I'm wrong, show the receipt. Do you know how many receipts I get when people show me when I say these things? But you're one of the few that never had a receipt. Never. Never.
You need to see a medical documentation of her, like DM her or something like that. Because I know she has a new boyfriend and she lives in Broward.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Her legs was open when he went into the jail cell by someone who was a familiar of his. She admitted to this. And she said that drove him over the edge, and he questioned the person, then allegedly attacked her. If your legs are spread like that, just go get paid to do it. Go do it safely. Stop bending over for everybody who got a rack for you. I got a couple racks. Bring that in. Like, what? Bring it over here. Like, are you serious? Stop bending over for everybody. I got a few racks for you. If you want to be somebody.
Okay. If I could talk about something really quick, because here's what most of these young girls like to do nowadays. I mean, even X kind of somewhat talked about this as well. As far as just having endorphins to have exposure or to see something, you know, in reference to a woman or to know her dirt or whatever the situation may be. All of those things are just stimuli, but are they actually satisfying? Do they actually bring some sort of mental stability to a man? No, they're done with it. They move on.
Right. You're right about that.
So at the end of the day, it's like, what exactly is the purpose? Because if we're examining their situation, whatever that meant, in his own mind at the time, he's realizing that there's an aspect of being in this industry that creates a form of torture. Even in the aspect of love, if you think about it. In the aspect of love, it's like how can I say it? It's more like a playing with emotional bondage. I don't even know how to explain that, but that's like
emotional thoughts. Emotional thoughts, I'll say. Emotional thoughts inside of your mind.
So think about all of the different factors around his situation that's setting him up for stardom. And he's realizing that the people that say that they love him, do they even know what that is?
I don't think they do. Sorry, take it away. You can talk.
Well, the one thing I was just thinking, Chris, about the point where we were looking into it, it was a conversation we talked about earlier having to do with different people's behavior. Do you believe that some of these people are in here on commenter names that are false or fictitious, like a woman with a man's names trying to speak as a man, or a man with a woman's name speaking as a woman?
Yeah, why not? Of course.
Right.
And that's part of what I've noticed. Like, for instance, I'm still getting comments off the Damas live video when we both came to an understanding that what was public for people to see, and I didn't release any receipt he asked me not to. That
I know, Dom.
Yeah, but I'm just saying what was public. It made it look bad, but he had a backstory that he did not want out there. And I understand why. And that made him credible. But the fact that certain information was present, that is how I take to it. That is like me looking at her, Bloodsucker, out here named Bloodsucker, and talking about her doing drugs watching an anime. That's like me saying, oh no, she meant she was burning through a check watching her favorite show. Like I interpret how it's given out there. I couldn't make anything around it. But see, here's where the plot thickens. With that same way is how I look at behavior. So when guys act funny, when I start talking about stuff, or they're doing something weird, when we start addressing certain topics, you look funny. I can't look past it. So whoever's looking funny already looked funny, period. Here's the crazy thing. Throughout here, even names that are getting thrown out as alleged people to do it, I've said something directly to them. I've never skipped a name. Anybody that had something, I said something to it, keeping it authentic. But you have socialites who get on and want to go on IG, and all they want to do is repost the pictures but not talk about other things. Like, that's the thing. We don't do that here. That's the only difference. And here's the thing. Cleo already said she had respect for that. Anybody looking, how could you not have someone respect for someone caring that a relative you had is gone now? How's that not respectable? What are we doing? But yet I see so many people profiting and going about it like, oh, it happens every day, B. Listen, you could say that and it sounds good, but it happens every day, B, till it happens to someone you love. Then it's serious. Oh, this is too serious.
They're allowing, they only have his flesh. You understand? Like, that's it. You only can have the ego. You can keep the ego. You can keep the performer. But you cannot keep doubt.
Right. It's genuine energy. You know that, right? His energy is purely his. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, true.
It's more powerful than ever.
Candace said, why haven't we heard from his uncle? I don't know. I don't know.
I think his uncle lives in Jamaica or Florida.
Allegedly.
Like,
It's all allegedly.
A lot of people say that if they were in that situation, who leaves their nephew like that? A lot of people say that, but I mean, in the same breath, it's like, you know, maybe it was just, he's fighting, he's scared for his life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe. But that's if he's built that way, he would be. But anyways, dealing with that whole entire situation, one thing that I do want to point out too is that X was a player. He had girls he could pull off the bench.
True.
What proof? And that's a fact. That's a fact. Come on, that's a fact. What proof?
CommenterNation, comment fact.
And that's my thing. What aside from that do we have to show that Genesis was the special one? I mean, what do I have to see other? Because respectfully, I've seen other pictures with other girls. I do, and I've literally.
Yeah.
True. Can I tell you something? Taylor White was one of his friends. You know who Taylor White is, right?
Yeah, I know who that DJ is. The same one that released are we talking about the same one that released the audio?
No.
Okay.
Taylor White is the one with the tattoo that X had I think she like went over his house in 2017, and then she was like in the bathroom
with the green hair.
Right.
Don't know her.
If you look up, she was with him as well when he was playing football.
Right. Right.
Respectfully, they're smashing a lot of these skinny, like off brand girls. So I really don't know.
I like my sister. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like my sister. Shout out to my sister.
And they're saying Taylor White was a porn star. That's what they're saying.
She is. I didn't want to say that word, otherwise you'd get kicked off stream.
No, that's not it. No, that wouldn't. But here's my thing. Why would they show respects and make friendships with a ton of girls just busting it open?
I was into that kind of stuff.
Is that a no to that type of porn stuff?
I mean, anything's possible, but I guess at the same time, does anyone ever evolve from that space of attachment? Is that a thing?
Quit is the MO.
Like, I mean, that's my thing. Like, it's just like with the knowledge of what I know, that's how I know something's funny. It's just funny style. It's funny. Like, you can't, like, it's like you might as well not even play it out. And the thing is, here's the thing though. Allegedly smashed Adam 22. Bree J, do you have a video or some type of proof of that?
Adam, basically to put the connection there. Y'all got it.
Adam 22 was his manager.
When?
Former manager.
When was he a manager?
He was a manager for X like a long time ago. I think it was like 2017.
Just in 2017?
Yeah.
I did not know that part. I mean, I heard of something similar. I didn't know he was a man. He was just an interviewer, or was he a blatant manager?
No. No. Adam, I remember an interview. No, he said X wanted him to manage him, and he never was his manager.
Okay.
X
Right. Okay.
Because he felt that X saw him like a father figure, and
right, because X never had that because his dad was locked up. When his last name is Bangs, I believe.
Yeah.
I know him. I've also talked to John Cunningham, which is one of XxXTentacion's producers.
I would never. After seeing Adam 22, different things, I would never follow up after something you hit, bro. I would never follow up after something you hit. I'm telling you, I would just keep the blue balls and go home.
Right.
I seen a live chat of his today where a guy came up and was whispering to him, like just talking to him, hey, draw a phallus. And you know the word he used. He said basically, draw a D on my cup. I was like, huh?
This is interesting.
And I was like, what? I was like, is that how y'all rock? Is that how y'all communicate? What was that? And you had like 6,000 people see that happen. And you should have seen the chat. They said that was, what is he doing? What? And
that was weird or something.
that was something else.
Did anybody ever pay attention to him being held at gunpoint on the 18th and then a few days after that? Like, anyone knows the correlation of that happening on John's 9-month anniversary and then, you know, probably really tried reenactment come in, basically these reenactments of events happening. But
I seen that, but I'm gonna let judgment do his thing with that. I'm well aware of it. I've already seen the moment it happened. I already understood, but I'm gonna let judgment do his thing for that. Because it doesn't matter how big someone gets, when you do things like that and it's for play, you get the deserving. And then on your live stream, you got a bunch of social Secret Service dressed type men around you for protection. Listen, when you do terrible things, there's no protection in the world from judgment. When you do terrible things like making fun of, mocking some, like, if you think that's funny, me understanding Black culture, and I know you're one of the guys who would go around the Blacks to make a show just to get some publicity, act like you're putting them on, big their music up to try and make them look like they're, but the moment you're not a benefit, you don't want to see what life is like around the Blacks, same Blacks that you use. You don't want to see what life is like. You're just a benefit. They rock with you because you could give opportunity. If you couldn't offer that, and I personally, again, I will gladly ask anyone to show me any affiliation with him that has led to a record deal.
To be honest, after the interview with X when he was younger, basically Adam and him became friends. I actually met X in 2017. And I was on Snapchat one day. He hit me up, and then I video chatted him. It was kind of like this, and it was like in 2017, and that's how I met X. And then we started talking for like a long time, and then he gave me his number. That's how I became his friend. But I've never been to his house before. I was planning to go to his house.
Again, one quick second. Wendy Harrington, you're naming a person that is part of the group. And they said got people that will kill somebody. He's protected. Well, just so you know, guns are universal. So I don't know what you're talking about. Guns are everywhere.
I don't even know.
Here's the thing. And let me say this. I myself personally am from a redneck state. Okay. And that's what people call it. I'm proudly from there. I'm from a state where it's backcountry type style.
Oh.
If you think you're pulling up and you're the best shooter in the state, you're in for it. Because all I gotta tell you is that's life here. That's what they do. It will be an old man with his pants up his butt that could take out 5 people in under a minute. You will be shocked. Trust me. If you're looking at an image to determine whether somebody gets busy, well, or whether they're in a gang, whether they're you're confused. You're confused. It will be the guy dressed like Steve Urkel who could take 6 men out before your eyes blink. And you'd be like, oh, everybody's getting dropped. So I see what you're saying. I don't know why you're mentioning it, but you definitely have not networked or lived. I've traveled. I lived. Let me tell y'all, I met a guy who was 5'5". Do any of you know what a scrimmer is?
I do.
Okay. You know what it is. If you guys don't know what it is, look it up. Okay. You would, if you had beef with this guy, by looking at him, you'd walk up and think you could smack him in the head and walk away. He started showing me his moves. If he touched you in the right place, you die instantly. You wouldn't think this of him because you're looking at him like, oh, I'm a gangster, I'm a G. You walk up to him, he touches you. You'll be convulsing later somewhere.
To be honest, X was never like that. He was never like Tupac. He was just like different, to be honest. Outside of media, he was very different. Very outgoing, to be honest, to put it in. He was like an outsider. Explain that.
Oh, lovely TheCzarr TV. You talk about they get down. People get down everywhere.
That's true.
TheCzarr, how many places have you traveled? I've been to Florida. I've been to Texas. Tell me right now, lovely TheCzarr, I want you to say that they get busier than Texas. Have you been there during when it's live? Because you see, Texas is an open carry state. What you're talking about is guys who get busy and hide themselves. I'm talking about grown men and women that walk around with the shotgun and AR off the hip, not hiding nothing. Looking at the police like run down. Are you kidding me?
That concept is that we weren't born with guns. You're right.
I'm telling you facts. TheCzarr's seen it. I know what they're talking about. I was there when they were taunting the cops, screaming oink, oink, bang, bang, with the shotgun up and ready. You can't tell me nothing. If you think someone's a G, tell them to stand the same way against the police they stand against another man, a black man. If they ain't doing it, I don't want to hear nothing from you because you are picking and choosing your battles. You're not about it all the way around. So if the cop told you get down, you throw your weapon down and dive in the bush. Like, I ain't have nothing, officer. If that's how you move, you're not as real as you think. Trust me. I was there when they were ready to spark police. They were ready to off the law because someone got shot dead unarmed. They were about it. They were about it. The police didn't even get out the car. They killed an innocent unarmed man walking to see his kids because they wanted to arrest them and something happened. So I seen it crazy. And that's what I'm telling you. So don't tell me, oh, they're about it there. Listen, there are people in many places that are about it. It is no one central location. Now, when we're going to third world countries, that may change because I could tell you about that. It's deeper than that. Because here's the thing. Most of these guys that would let off weapons hop in the car and ride away or run after because they don't want to get those cuffs on. Why? Because they're not doing it legal. The people you should fear are the legal ones because they'll have everything they need to go knock something off and wait for the cops to come. And if the scenario's right, I bet they keep their freedom. See, I know law, so you can't mention